Hello, and welcome to WHSH TV. I'm Jaden Goodwin, and with me is Brooks Robinson. Thanks for joining us for another edition of WHSH News. Coming up on today's show, we will talk to Angela Quast and learn about the City of Washington's recycling program and how and what you can recycle. We will also discuss a big blood drive going on as we speak today here at WHS in the auditorium and need for blood in our community.
In sports, a doubleheader is this weekend. The boys have 2 road trips, one at Mount Carmel and one at South Knox. Plus, we'll talk about the top 25 college hoops. And plus, there's a prom dress sale. A fundraiser we'll tell you all about coming this month.
All that and much more. It's Friday, February 15th, and you're watching WHSH TV. Recycling is an important way for communities to work to save the environment while also freeing up space at the landfills. Some communities in bigger cities even offer curbside recycling to encourage more to do their part. Here in Washington, unfortunately, that is not an option due to funding and the extra resources. However, as Angela Quast tells us from the Washington Stormwater and Wastewater Department, the city is doing all it can to make recycling as easy and convenient as possible for residents.
The pros of recycling is that we can manage to keep the material out of the landfill and to reuse it for something else instead of just putting it into the landfill and leaving it there. The con would be it goes to a landfill and it ends up just being buried, and how long can we sustain that for in our community? Even, how long will our landfill last? Con also is that people don't recycle appropriately, that they think that, oh, I can throw anything into the recycling and it'll be recycled, and they end up causing more damage to the items that could be recycled, and then the material has to be thrown away. The street department or the stormwater department, the household hazardous waste is under the stormwater department. We have forms or handouts that we can give you as to what we can take. But now also understand that changes. The people that we send the product to after we bale it, they always want to be able to ship it onto a company that's going to remanufacture it, and that company's rules change all the time, which is what happened when China changed everything about the recycling. They quit taking recycling a lot from the United States due to the litter and the contamination that was in it. And since that's occurred, so much of the recycling community has changed. They want it to be a cleaner product coming to them versus trash that they get. To keep it out of the landfill and to reuse these items that we can reuse. There's so many things that we can't recycle in our community or even in the United States, and we need to keep what we can out of the landfill and use the landfill for the things that we can't recycle. Plastics are our #1 biggest issue right now as far as recycling goes. There's so many plastics that we can't recycle, and we need to be mindful of what we purchase, I think, in the beginning. When you go to the store, what do you buy, the item in the glass that can't be recycled, or do you buy the item in a piece of plastic that can't be recycled? I mean, so much of it comes from a manufacturer issue as to what they're packaging their items into, and what are we going to do with it after we purchase it. And we need to just be mindful when we purchase what we're going to do. The items that we do recycle here are paper, plastics, cardboard, and when I say plastics, that's 1s and 2s only. And 1s and 2s only that have screw top lids and don't have chemicals in them and aren't contaminated. So if you don't wash your milk jug out at home, it's going to get thrown away if it has a lot of rotten milk in it. It will be tossed. So if you go to a ball field and you sit down and you have a drink and a sandwich and a bag of chips and you stuff all your trash down into the bottle, it's going to be thrown away. We will take that out of the recycling because they don't want that debris mixed in with it. Make sure that you know what you can and can't recycle. That helps the people that are doing the recycling out here as their job. It takes less time to recycle something that's done appropriately. We don't have lids on our plastics. Please take the lids off of the plastic before you recycle them. That saves us time and effort. you're saving us time and money going to the landfill too by recycling. We actually get a little bit of money, and I'm not going to say it's a large amount because it certainly isn't. Markets have totally dropped off. But and plastics we may end up paying for one of these days just to get rid of them, to have them recycled, to keep them out of the landfill. But we need to do it to keep them out of the landfill. But what little money we do get is not enough even to pay for the labor that we put into it. So if people would make sure that they know how to recycle properly and to do it right, it saves us time and effort on our end.
The recycling center is located just across the street from Eastside Park in Washington. Weather has been the topic on everyone's minds lately. With the up and down seesaw temperatures and weather patterns we have experienced the last few weeks, we took some time to visit with local meteorologist Renee Lyle from WAMW Radio to find out more if this pattern is normal and just exactly what is going on with this crazy start to the weather in 2019.
Okay, we've actually seen a lot more moisture and precipitation than what we usually see around this time of year, but if you think about it, we're actually where the jet stream is lined up. We really have seen about a lot of moisture, but really with that we haven't seen any snow. If you took all the systems that we've seen in the river flooding and the precipitation that we have, we actually probably would have been looking at probably about a foot of snow or more. So with the rain showers that we've seen and the river flooding that we have, it's not necessarily good. Roads are being washed out, and the roads pothole city right now around Indiana and definitely in southern portion of Indiana. But if you took everything into account, we could have actually seen a lot more snow with this, but it's just depending on where the pattern's set up and just a lot of precipitation. We just have a very saturated atmosphere right now and just seeing a lot of moisture in the systems right now. We actually, for this week, I don't like to do a whole lot of future casting. Really, I just like to go about a week out, and right now we're looking to warm up. 50 degree is our high for Thursday, and then we drop back down into the 30s on Saturday. With the National Weather Service winter outlook, we actually are probably about average. Last year we actually were cooler. We had a more colder temperatures in March and April than what we actually usually see. But this year I think that we're going to probably see a warm up and probably stay there instead of seeing the cool down that we saw last year. So I'd say not really necessarily in early spring. We're still in winter. Winter actually is still going on right now. Our first day of spring is March 20th. And whenever we see that, I do think we're going to see a little bit of a warm up. But right now, our temperatures are right around average, a little bit below average than where they're at right now. We'll see, like I said, a cool down this weekend, and then maybe warm back up into the 40s and possibly stay there. But we still can't rule out another cool down, considering that we're still in winter right now. It really just depends on the pattern that's set up. The zonal forecast means that basically we're talking about systems coming from the west and pushing over towards the east, which are normal. But whenever you have meridional forecast and you see the flow, they're really more significant troughs, and we see more clippers come down from the north, which we're really not seeing. We're just seeing basically like you've seen the roller coaster in temperatures, and from the hot to cold and hot to cold again. But it really just depends on where the jet stream lines up. This isn't out of the norm. It's just kind of different than what we have seen in the last couple of winters.
Renee Lyle is on the air weekdays from 4 to 6 on Memories 107.9. The American Red Cross is seeking everyone's help to increase the blood supply in our area. According to Theo Boots, the Southwest Indiana Region Director of the American Red Cross, they currently have a less than 3-day supply of blood. The goal is to always have 5 days or more. The shelf life is around 42 days, so the need is always there. Washington Junior High School is conducting a blood drive as we speak today to help in this effort. Principal Mark Arnold gives us the details about the local blood drive here at the school.
Mark Arnold, and I'm the principal here at the junior high school and have been for the last 11 years. Let me tell you all about the blood drive. Okay. So it's this Friday from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock. It will be in the high school auditorium. We ask that those that have scheduled appointments before 3:30, so between 2 and 3:30, please enter gate 6, check in like we normally would during school hours. Then after school hours, after 3:30, we'll have gates 4 and 5 open for the general public. We have 24 pre-scheduled appointments scheduled already out of 32, so there's plenty of room there for people to come in. walk in or schedule an appointment. And so that's where we are right now. My goal for the blood drive would be to fill up all 32 spots. Talking to the Red Cross, this is the first time I've been a part of hosting it, and talking to the guy at the Red Cross, this is a tough time of year for them. Right after the holidays, people don't tend to go out and donate blood, and so they tend to have a shortage right after the holidays. Yeah, what the Red Cross has done is since we're a junior high and the students themselves cannot donate blood, if they have a parent go or a kid sponsor go and sign their student's name as if they were a sponsor of that kid, then the Red Cross is going to give each student a pair of sunglasses. And I've been a donor for about 10 years and given quite a few. I probably should give more. And so I don't know, it just seems like there's been a lot of people that we all know that have had some issues that need blood, and it's kind of a simple thing to do. Really, it doesn't take that long. And just to give a little plug, if you go to redcrossblood.org, they'll ask you what drive you're searching for, and if you type in Washington, it'll bring up the junior high blood drive on the 15th, and you can pre-schedule an appointment, or you can walk in. Pre-scheduling's real easy, and then that way you can really kind of get in and out, because they'll take the pre-scheduled first over the walk-in if they're there. There's also a feature on there called Rapid Pass. And if you've never given blood before, when you go give blood, you have to answer a series of questions, a questionnaire in private, but there's quite a few questions, it takes a little bit of time. If you go to Rapid Pass on the day that you actually give blood, you can fill those out, either run a copy of that, or if you have the Red Cross app, it'll have a scan code on there. So on the day of, you can fill out all that paperwork before you even walk in, then they'll just scan it.
Blood drive continues until 7 p.m. tonight in the auditorium. There is also a blood drive underway until 4:30 p.m. at Davis County Hospital and the Education Center. Please do your part and give the gift of life. This week, we also have I-STEP retesting. Our school counselor, Tony Barnard, has more.
My name is Tony Barnard, a counselor here at Washington High School. Well, we just began testing I-STEP this week with juniors and seniors who were retesting from their sophomore year. We had about probably 220 altogether, juniors and seniors that were taking the I-STEP. Yes, I-STEP is the graduation exam that the state of Indiana put forth about 10 years ago or so, and it's a part of graduation for current high schoolers. So that test is typically taken the sophomore year, but students who do not pass the exam or meet the cut score of the exam are allowed to retake it during their preparation. Takes a little while. We have to first of all complete a report or generate a report of every student in the building that still needs to take the test. Typically we have to look at the state websites just to double check every student in the school that is passed and that is not passed, and we take that and generate a list. And from that list we use our spreadsheets to generate that list and to bring the students that are needed into the software, and the software then lets them test on the I-STEP. Every year, it's a little bit different every year. A few years ago, we had around 90% of the students passing in math and about 70 in English, and then they changed the test. They actually changed the cut scores to make it a lot more difficult. So now that number is more around 50%, which is pretty well the average around the state. Just a couple of things really to the students. Working as hard as you can in your regular math and English classes really helps. But then also when you get to the actual test day, it's a long day, it's a lot of tests. You just really got to maintain your focus, maybe get a good night's sleep that night before so you're really prepared and as ready as you can be to take the test on that day. Sure. As parents, like I said, just make sure your kids are rested, make sure they're ready for it, and really as a parent stress the importance of the test itself, but more importantly, just kind of stress the importance of school in general throughout the year. Kind of keeping an eye on kids' homework and their grades, and the more you kind of press them to do well in classes, the better chance they have to pass the class or pass the I-STEP. Okay. Well, many of the students take I-STEP in the library. Some students, though, take it with different teachers around the building. It just depends. Some students receive some accommodations, some don't. So it really just depends on those factors. But it's just somewhere around the school, typically given by me or another teacher in the building.
Coming up after the break, we'll have a quick look at your forecast, which includes a cold stretch into the weekend after a mild and wet week. Stay tuned. You're watching WHSH TV.
This new dad is picturing a tree house in the sky, but he's ignoring the instructions. Good luck, big guy. His kids know that he's building without a clue. Never been so good with nails and glue. Now we're trapped inside a box. I hope mom knows what to do. Mom! See, you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
All right, welcome back to WHSH. Let's take a look at your weekend forecast. You see, today mostly cloudy, high around the mid-30s. And for your Saturday, mostly sunny, high around 39, with a low of 29, excuse me. And Sunday, chance of snow, high around 42, and a low of 38. And that is your weekend forecast. I'm Brooks Robinson on WHSH.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at Mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Yes, I am.
Give it to him hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stab me with it? No.
They want to help, but don't know how.
Oh,
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Welcome back. The junior class parents are conducting a fundraiser later this month to raise money for this year's prom. A prom dress sale will be held February 23rd. Junior class parent Nicole Murphy gives us the details about the sale. Do you only sell prom dresses or other dresses as well?
And we are selling cotillion dresses and prom dresses for the benefits goes to Washington Junior High, post-prom. If you have any questions about it, they can stop by Hudson Office Solutions or call Nicole Murphy at 812-259-5703.
What are the price ranges for your dresses?
They range anywhere from $100 to probably about $300. Whoever brings the dresses, they price the dresses, and they get 90% of the profit, and the junior prom gets 10%.
What purpose are you selling these dresses for?
For the junior high or junior class post prom.
Is there any sort of limit to how many dresses somebody can drop off?
No, you can bring as many as you want. It's just $5 for every dress you bring, and then you can pick them up if we don't sell them on the end of the day at Saturday.
And what are your hours for dropping off dresses and purchasing?
Friday, February 22nd, you can come to Griffith Elementary and drop them off from 3 to 7.
Once again, the prom dress sale is February 23rd from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Griffith Elementary Gym. Drop-off will be Friday from 3:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. This week we are going to preview the upcoming season of The Walking Dead with Clint Ivey.
Hello, I'm Clint Ivey, and this week we're going to be doing an episode review of February 10th's mid-season premiere of AMC's The Walking Dead. AMC's The Walking Dead returned with an action-packed episode called Adaptation. This episode introduced the new enemy called the Whisperers, who wear zombie masks and walk and act like zombies. Adaptation started off with a classic zombie movie feel. It was foggy inside of a graveyard where the group of survivors are trying to escape their new wannabe zombie enemies after the sad death of their new friend Jesus, who was also killed by the Whisperers. The rest of the episode has to do with finding out who this new enemy is and what they want. There's also even a good old-fashioned cliffhanger. If I had to rate this episode, I would rate it 11 out of 10 Daryl's because of the suspense and horror of this episode. Thanks for watching. I am Clint Ivey, and this is WHSH TV.
The Walking Dead is on Sunday nights on AMC. As we are now in mid-February, the seasons will gradually transition from basketball to baseball. There's a lot of excitement behind the upcoming Hatchet season as the team returns fresh off their first sectional championship. Head coach Steve Reed gives us a preview of what to expect this season.
Expectations this year would have to be defending the sectional. We broke through last year and won our first sectional in quite a while. So, it gives the kids confidence, and it's always nice going in. Also, we'll have a target on our back, having said that, but it's always nice going in, trying to defend that title that we won last year. So I think that's our first expectation. Baseball's a long season. You play a lot of games, and you just want to work, keep getting better and improving to be ready to roll at the end of May to accomplish that. Another one would be the Big 8 conference. That's something that we've kind of been knocking at the door. A few years we've been close, but we'd like to get over that hump and compete for a Big 8 title, obviously. Just keep getting better, taking that next step. I think, the regional last year, a lot of the kids we showed a lot of fight. That was a game that went back and forth. We didn't roll over and die. So I think, obviously one step at a time, but, once you break through, you start having expectations and confidence, I guess is a better word, that you can do that. That's something we battled for years, was just a lack of confidence that we could do it. Now that we know we can do it, hopefully we can just keep building on that and, having longer postseason runs. Well, biggest rival every year, Brooks, is going to be Vincennes. I mean, those guys, we've had some big battles with them. They're obviously still in the sectional, and they're going to be a tough team again this year to get through. So believe me, they will. They'll definitely be fired up against us this year. But sectional opponent, Big 8 opponent, I'd have to say our number one rivals is Vincennes.
The Hatchet baseball season will kick off during spring break, Wednesday, March 27th. Coming up after the break, we will have a more detailed look at the latest in sports with This Week with Cullen Evans. You're watching WHSH TV.
So who's going to do what?
I'll pack the dead batteries.
Great.
I'll only put what I don't need into a duffel bag.
Perfect. That's totally unhelpful.
No problem.
Meanwhile, I will try to comfort everyone by speaking in a calm voice. And who is going to handle supplies?
I can forget to do a list for us.
Thanks, pal.
We couldn't be any less prepared. I'm proud of you guys.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know, wherever you are.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Boys will return to action this weekend with a pair of road trips to Mount Carmel tonight and South Knox tomorrow. The Hatchets are looking to regroup after a tough road trip to Bloomfield last Friday, falling to the Cardinals. Washington is coming in tonight with a mark of 13-6. Tip-off at Mount Carmel is set for 7:30 p.m. tonight. It's another busy weekend of basketball in Washington this week as the focus is on the girls, as the Washington Lady Hatchets will be hosting the Washington Shootout. Saturday and Sunday, around 50 teams will be competing from all around the area in gyms at Lena Dunn, Griffith, North, Washington Junior High, and the Hatchet House. The schedule of all games is available on the Tourney Machine app. Good luck to local teams in action. All proceeds from the tourney will support the Lady Hatchets basketball team. The faculty continued their flawless streak on Wednesday night as they disposed of this year's senior class 72-45. Mr. Hancock once again led all scorers with 17 points, as faculty led throughout most of the contest and never looked back. The game was a fundraiser for the BPA students heading to state competition in Indianapolis next month. Congratulations to Kinsia Lavaseur for being named the Big 8 Conference girls basketball team this year. The Lady Hatchets finished in the three-way tie for second place in the conference this year with a mark of 4-2. Jasper claimed the conference title outright unbeaten at 6-0. Joe Flacco is now part of the Denver Broncos. In a deal confirmed this week, the Ravens have traded their longtime quarterback to Denver. Flacco has played his entire career with Baltimore and led the Ravens to the 2013 Super Bowl, where he is named MVP. Flacco will be leaving to make way for Lamar Jackson. With the move, Case Keenum may also question about where he will be playing next year.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry?
Hey, this job looks perfect. It says you need people skills? Check. Driver's license? Check. And a high school diploma. You got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that. You are good to go.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to WHSH TV. All right, let's take a look at your extended forecast. So over here in the west, you have looks a lot of precipitation, and in the Midwest, you have a lot more snow moving in, which could affect us in Indiana. And in the New England area, you have some more precipitation, cold temperatures, and snow, most likely. Now let's take a look at the weekend forecast. All right, so Saturday, sunny, high 39 and a low of 29. Sunday, a chance of snow showers, a high of 42 and a low of 28. And next week, cloudy, beginning with a chance of rain through Wednesday. Skies clear up to Thursday, and a high of 45 and a low of 27. And that is your extended forecast here on WHSH.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Cinderella found the pet that fits her perfectly. Tiana gave her pet the royal treatment. Belle found beauty where no one else did. And you can too. Share your heart. Share your love. Bring home your forever friend. Make a shelter pet part of your world. Happily Ever After begins at theshelterpetproject.org.
All right, this week on the Hallway Beat, we'll talk about bad habits. And let's take a look to the hallways to see what everybody else's bad habits are in the school.
Owen, what are one of your bad habits?
I pull too many threes.
What are one of your bad habits?
I have a bad habit of biting my nails.
What are one of your bad habits?
Telling people to shut up too much.
Eli, what are one of your bad habits?
Sometimes I do this.
Mr. Brock Thurman, tell me what your bad habit is.
All the ladies want me, but they can't have me.
So, that's a habit?
Yeah.
You, Peyton, what are one of your bad habits?
I break too many hearts. I'm a heartbreaker.
Can you tell me what one of your bad habits are? It's messed up, man. Zane, tell me one of your bad habits.
One of my bad habits is turning into a werewolf on occasions.
Oh! Luke, what is your bad habit?
I'm going to say eating a lot because I'm fat.
Those muscles say otherwise. What are one of your bad habits, Julius?
I ball too much.
Jaron, tell me one of your bad habits.
Honestly with you, Cannon, my anger issues really get the best of me sometimes.
Quincy, tell me one of your bad habits.
Eating Reese's during tennis season.
Thank you, Cannon. And Brooks, do you have any bad habits you like to talk about?
I win too much. That's some of my bad habits. I have a passion for winning. I like to win a lot. So, Jaden, do you have any bad habits that you'd like to share with everybody on WHSH?
The only thing that I could think of is I care too much. I work too hard a lot. And it's really putting a hindrance on my life, unfortunately. And I'm trying to get that back together.
Yeah. All right.
On behalf of our entire team here at WHSH, on the campus of Washington High School, we would like to thank everyone for watching. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week here on WHSH TV.